family and friends. Now with 2 pubs in Corvallis, your Northwest Dodge dealer. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. Regents. We are all connected and 1,000 strong. Regents. Together, we can take charge. The dairy farmers of Oregon say, check your fridge. Got milk? Safety of all-wheel drive standard. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. By State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Reesers. With Reesers, you've got it made. Now, here's the voice of the Beavers, Mike Parker.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Beaver Sports Talk. We do it every Tuesday night here at McMenamins on Monroe, across from the OSU campus, and welcome you along the Beaver Sports Radio Network, Beaver Nation Online. Thanks for tuning us in this evening, and we have a busy show. We're going to get to it here in a moment and welcome this week's everyday champion, Jeremy Larson, senior co-captain from the OSU wrestling team. He'll join us momentarily to talk about the meets thus far this year. The Beavers are ranked 19th in the country, 11-1, 3-0 in the Pac-10. Jeremy coming off a couple of wins individually, the team winning duels this past weekend in Laramie and in Greeley. We'll get a little bit of a report on that, as well as the 2 big meets coming up for the wrestling team this week. Friday night against Arizona State at 7 at Gill, and then Sunday at noon as part of a doubleheader at Gill Coliseum, wrestling by noon and Civil War basketball by early evening at 5:30 when LaVonda Wagner's team will take on Oregon in the Civil War presented by your Northwest Dodge dealers. Tonight, to preview 2 Civil War games, we'll be joined by Krista Reinking from the OSU women's basketball coaching staff. She'll talk about the weekend past and the trip to the Bay Area, as well as the upcoming Civil War games. And we'll also talk OSU men's hoops with assistant coach Brian Lloyd as the Beavers get ready to take on the 20th ranked team in the country, Washington State, Thursday night at Beasley Coliseum, Friel Court on the Palouse, and the Washington Huskies Saturday afternoon in Seattle. That's all coming up tonight. We'll also get some reminders to you about other events going on within OSU athletics, including the start of the baseball team's defense of the 2006 National Championship. That defense begins Thursday on the Big Island in Hawaii as the Beavers play Hilo for 4 games. We'll talk a little bit about that tonight as we go. It's great to have all of you with us this evening. Any questions or comments along the way? The Dutch Bros Sports Line is available here at McMenamins. The number to call, 1-877-600-6433, 877-600-6433. Thanks for joining us tonight. Jeremy Larson, co-captain of the wrestling team, will join us next on the Beaver Sports Radio Network.
I'm Joan. I have a 9-year-old baseball nut.
All right, okay. Hello, everybody. I guess we're giving prizes out on every break. It's against what I want to do, but they don't. It's just a giant prize patrol. I don't know what the first prize is. I think it might be a car, but if you're holding ticket number 2603, I think it's a sticker. 2603. Congratulations.
Welcome back to Beaver Sports Talk on the Beaver Sports Radio Network. It is time to welcome to the program, as we do every Tuesday night, an everyday champion from OSU Athletics, and it's an honor to welcome a man who's got a lot going on in his life. He's the senior co-captain on the OSU wrestling team, so that would be the most public part of his life, and you'll get a chance to see Jeremy and his teammates Friday night at 7 at Gill against ASU, then Sunday at noon against Boise State. This man is also married with an 8.5-month-old boy named Benjamin. That's part of the life you probably don't get to see too much of, but that's obviously as important as anything else to him. And this young man just found out on Friday that he's been accepted to dental school at OHSU, which he will start this fall. Please welcome senior co-captain from the OSU wrestling team, Jeremy Larson, to Beaver Sports Talk. Good evening,
Thanks.
Jeremy. That's a lot going on in life, and congratulations. Before we even talk about wrestling, just let's talk about what I just mentioned last. You want to be a dentist. You've had that on your heart and mind for a long time, and you just found out Friday. Tell us about that whole process and what it meant to you to be accepted at OHSU.
Yeah, it started this summer when I started applying and getting that stuff going, and it was just a lot of work getting that application done. And went on my interview last Thursday, and thought it went pretty well, but you never know, if you've made the right impression. And Friday morning we were getting up to head to the meet down in Colorado, and I checked my email just before we went out the door, and it was there. So I ran upstairs and got Lisa up and told her, hey, I got in. And so it's just been riding a high. After I found out about that, it's just a big relief, I guess.
Yeah, well, congratulations. What was it along the way in life that motivated you to want to become a dentist?
Well, when I came to OSU, I was kind of interested in the fisheries and wildlife area, and took a few classes in that, and just wasn't really drawing me in as much as I thought it would, or didn't. As I looked down the road, it wasn't kind of keeping me, didn't provide the challenge that I guess I was looking for, and so I kind of started looking elsewhere, and my dad and some other people had mentioned maybe looking into dentistry, so I thought, what the heck, I'll look into it. Talked to the pre-dental advisor there at OSU, and got into the pre-dental orientation class and was able to talk to some dentists and go visit some offices and find out what they did and what they enjoyed about it. And it just, the more I found out about it, the more it seemed like a good fit for me, and just went from there.
But you took on certainly a demanding academic discipline at the same time being married. You have an 8.5-month-old boy, your wife Lisa, your son Benjamin, and a wrestler, which is as demanding as any sport under heaven. So how have you managed to deal with all of this?
Well, I mean, it's, I'm definitely busy, but, I always think about something Coach Wells taught us last year. And, he brought in a sports psychologist, and actually that guy had kind of mentioned this, but he just, really emphasized being where you need to be when you need to be there. And that's kind of how, you just kind of compartmentalize. When you're in the classroom, you're taking care of your stuff there. If you need to study, you're doing that. You're not worried about what's coming up this weekend, or if you're at home with the family, you're taking care of that. You're enjoying yourself there, relaxing. You're not worried about the homework that's due the next day or whatever. So just kind of compartmentalizing and just taking care of stuff as it comes along when you need to do it.
It sounds like a good plan. It sounds pretty simple. Are you able to leave practice or a disappointment at a meet when you go home? Does that eat away at you as a competitor, or are you able to leave it at the gym?
I think I am pretty good at leaving it on the mat. If you train right and do everything you can, and when you're out there, if you work as hard as you can and don't hold back, and I try to do that. There's not really anything you can say if I should have done this, I should have done that. Obviously some little things, but for the most part, if you go out there and give everything you got every time you're on the mat, there's not too much you can take home and worry about.
This week's everyday champion, Jeremy Larson, wrestling at 174 pounds for Coach Zaleski's team, which is off to a tremendous start. Before we talk a little bit about the wrestling and the meets past and coming up, just about being a dad at your young age and an 8.5-month-old, how's Benjamin doing, and what's the thing you most enjoy just about being a papa?
Well, he's doing good. He we got back from Christmas break, and he had been crawling a little bit before that, but for some reason we got home that night and he just started taking off, and so he's starting to get into everything now. And I went home today, and Lisa said, he opened up one of the cupboards and pulled some of the glass pans out and broke something, and so I got
good for him.
She's getting after me about baby proofing this stuff, so I got to get that done sometime. But, he's doing great, and it's just, when you go home and you walk in the door and he's looking around the corner, oh, there's Dad, and he comes crawling over, that you can't beat that. That's just, it's awesome.
Greatest thing in life. I would concur with you on that, Jeremy. Now, in terms of how wrestling's going, you're coming off 2 wins in your weight class, both in Laramie and in Greeley this past weekend. The team's nationally ranked. You're 11-1, 3-0 in conference. 2 meets coming this weekend. Individually, how are things going for you? And then collectively as a team, how do you think things are going in this first year with Coach Zaleski?
Yeah, it's going well. For me, individually, I started off pretty well down in Las Vegas and ended up 4th down there. I was in a chance to beat that kid that didn't take 3rd, but ended up doing pretty well, and that's a pretty elite meet down there. And came back and ended up 5th at a Reno tournament, not as quite as big of a tournament. Didn't wrestle as well as I'd like, but still ended up getting in there with the mix with some good guys. And just keeping going. We're right in the middle of the season now, and it's just putting our noses down and just finishing it out strong.
Now, Coach Zaleski came in with national championships on his resume and certainly highly respected in his field. And Oregon State wrestling through the years has seen some great competitors and some great teams. And certainly Coach Zaleski fits that tradition. For you guys, and for you individually, I guess you can't speak for everybody else, but what has Coach Zaleski brought for you that's helped you as a student athlete here?
Yeah, he's just brought some fire, behind it. We're out there, and he's not satisfied with letting time get away from us in a match specifically. If every second we have, if we're not doing something with that to wear that other guy down, then he's not going to be happy with that. So just that aggressive, get after the guy and not waste 5 seconds on the mat is really helped me out a lot, because that's kind of my wrestling style, is go out there and wear guys out. And anytime I'm wasting time not wearing guys out, then that's not good for me. So he's kind of helped me in that area.
Jeremy Larson joining us Friday night, ASU 7 o'clock. It is the orange and black meet, which means if you wear orange and black, you get in for just $3. So just pull anything out of your closet, you'll get in for $3. I'm sure for most people within the sound of our voices, Jeremy. And the other Sunday at noon against Boise State, it's a Phil Gill meet. All general admission seats are just $1. And so I'm sure for you guys, when fans are in there supporting you, it's a big rush, and it helps you guys a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. When the crowd's getting into it and they're excited, and we're getting guys on their back and people are standing up and cheering for you, that's all the more reason we want to get out there and fight for somebody.
Sounds good. Now you go home and see that son of yours get after the homework, and congratulations on all the great stuff that's going on, Jeremy. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate it. Jeremy Larson, this week's Everyday Champion, getting us underway tonight on Beaver Sports Talk. And Target would like to congratulate Jeremy. As a company structured entirely of teams, Target understands how crucial each and every team member is on and off the field or the mat. Target, a proud partner with OSU Athletics. Brian Lloyd will join us. We'll shift gears into OSU men's hoops, heading to the Palouse tomorrow. We'll talk to Coach Lloyd about that big challenge ahead for the Beavers as Beaver Sports Talk continues from McMenamins on the Beaver Sports Network.